Rebecca Lamb Weiss, the youngest daughter of Joni Lamb, hasn't always kept her opinions to herself, especially when it comes to her mom's marriage to Doug Weiss. She made it clear from the start that she didn't approve of their relationship, even before things got serious. Rebecca was very vocal about her feelings, showing that she wasn't on board with the idea of her mom marrying Doug. Now, people are starting to wonder why Rebecca and her husband, JW, have been so quiet about everything lately. But it wasn't always like this. Right before Joni and Doug got married on June 10th, 2023, Rebecca had a big conversation with her mom. A secret recording from May that year has come out, where Joni Lamb talks about their intense confrontation. In the recording, Joni says Rebecca didn't hold back and really stood up to her in a heated argument. It's clear that Rebecca wasn't afraid to challenge her mom when it came to this whole situation.
Anyway, Becca just erupted. She said, I cannot see the grandkids anymore. I can't post anything.
She doesn't
just going on and on. So mean. And saying I was full of the devil, that I had demons, that he cast a spell on me. This is what she said to me. And it's not going to continue to happen.
Yeah, you guys just need to get time with one another and work through all this. Well, maybe not now, but at some point.
I did tell her she was entitled and self-absorbed and selfish. I did say, and she's like, you will not speak those words over me. I said, but they're true. I mean, after she railed and railed and railed, and I tried to leave the driveway because Asher was hearing all this, and they had gotten out of the car. Here I had come to just spend time with him. That's all I wanted. And I start to pull out, and she opens the passenger door and continues. I said, please shut the door. She said, shut the door. Please shut the door. So these are the things you won't hear. So then I have to put the car in park, get out of my side, come around, and shut the door. There's her and Asher standing there. I said, leave the door closed. I'm going. This is over. I get back in to drive away. She opens the door again. I get out, go around, close the door, and then I pull out. And so I had no idea that was going to happen. If I'd have known that encounter, I wouldn't have even gone by to get Asher. The whole first hour was good. It started.
How did it switch?
When I said, she said, Mom, she said, you really hurt my feelings by kicking me out of the house. I said, I didn't kick you out of the house. I told you that while I was in Colorado, I didn't feel comfortable with y'all going into the house without me being there. And she kept using that. Well, when you kick somebody in the house, they're in the house, and you kick them out, right? So that was the thing. And then I talked to Jimmy actually about this. I'm paying for the 1-year birthday party like I always do. Mm-hmm. And so it's coming up, and he said, and she's
tomorrow, right?
Huh?
Tomorrow, right?
No, she moved it back to
She moved. So is Doug, she said, I don't want Doug there. And I said, if I pay for the party, and it's at my house, and he's here for the weekend, he's going to be there.
Joni admitted that Doug Weiss was staying over at her house for the weekend, even before they got married. For someone in her position as a Christian leader, that's definitely not setting a good example. And honestly, she was supposed to be grieving the loss of her husband, so it doesn't make sense for Doug to be spending weekends at her place. It feels like she's completely ignoring boundaries. This audio not only shows how frustrated Rebecca was, but it also pretty much confirms the other recordings where Joni and Doug were already being physical with each other before they even tied the knot.
I mean, just the fact that, you're heavily making out, like right away.
Yeah. I don't apologize for that. Yes, we were making out because we wanted to see if we had that kind of connection. I don't know if there's anything wrong. We had talked 60 hours in the month of July, FaceTime.
That's right.
So if there's something wrong, Jimmy, is there something wrong with making out? I definitely kissed the hound dog out of him, so.
Absolutely not.
So, apparently, Jimmy Evans didn't see anything wrong with Doug spending weekends at Joni's house or them making out before they were married. Honestly, that's shocking. No Christian leader in their right mind would think this is okay. He was just bending the rules to keep his friends happy or stay on Joni's good side. Honestly, it makes sense why he stepped down from his marriage ministry. How can you preach about marriage values when you're supporting behavior like this? But anyway, let's get back to the Rebecca and Joni audio, because there's a lot more to dig into there.
She said, I don't want Doug there. And I said, if I pay for the party, and it's at my house, and he's here for the weekend, he's going to be there. And that was the trigger. well, you told me he didn't have to. I said, I never told you that. You told me that, but I never told you I was going to buy that.
Yeah.
I actually talked to Jimmy about this, and he said, you absolutely got to draw that boundary now. He's going to be in your family, and you don't let her manipulate you like that. And
I mean, if she tries it now, she'll try it later.
I'm blaming you.
Yeah,
So that you
I just.
so she said, you're taking away your 1-year-old grandson's birthday party. I said,
no, you're taking it.
I said, I'm not taking it away. I
You're
said,
paying
I'll
thousands of
pay
dollars
for
for
it.
it. You're paying
And we'll
thousands of
have it,
dollars
but
for
you're
it.
not going to manipulate me and tell me not exactly. So it was crazy. And so he heard her on the phone when she called me.
Because she was yelling, not because you.
I didn't have her.
Oh, no, that's because
Because she was yelling.
Yeah, because it was so loud.
We were playing Scrabbles. We were like, it wasn't. My mom said, "Here, listen to this nonsense." She didn't. She wasn't trying to uncover her at all. Rebecca uncovered herself. She's yelling, "I'm going to hold you to standard. You're not being a Christian mom, and this is evil." And then I'm like, I actually like Rebecca, but I was like, what the heck?
And I have been guilty of
Not having done this.
placating that. I mean, y'all.
I think a whole family.
Just trying to be a good mother, but Rachel has actually been very respectful towards me. She may be saying something totally different, but at least I respect that. That she's been nice to him.
They both have.
Rebecca was very rude to Doug.
We didn't acknowledge me was walking by, and they were around. They didn't look at me.
Yeah, he just said hello.
Right, well,
He was like, "What is up with Rebecca?"
You're dirt. I can feel me. What is that? I mean, I have guesses, but I'm like, what is that?
It's clear that Joni surrounded herself with people who only told her what she wanted to hear. She didn't seem to take her kids' concerns seriously or even value their insights when it came to her relationship with Doug. Honestly, those are the voices she should have been listening to the most. They're her children, people who are closest to her. Instead, she dismissed their concerns about her unbiblical relationship. And that comment about not trusting Rebecca to be in her house when she wasn't around, that speaks volumes about the lack of closeness and real connection in her relationship with her kids. It's truly heartbreaking. This is what happens when money and power start dictating decisions. You bend the truth to fit your story. They even tried to frame this relationship as some sort of divine intervention. Remember those articles about how God miraculously brought Joni Lamb and Doug Weiss together? They tried to make it sound like a supernatural love story, all while ignoring the serious issues at hand. Now Rebecca has gone completely silent, which is odd given how outspoken she was about the union before Joni and Doug got married. But as Jonathan revealed, she signed an NDA. Joni knew Rebecca would speak out, so she quickly offered money to keep her quiet. It's tragic. Rebecca clearly had strong feelings, but now she's been legally silenced.
With Becca JW, them making their choices, it's not some, they're just don't want to talk. It's a very conscious choice they've made, and I'm all about respecting choices and boundaries.
JW, it's my understanding, wrote quite an impactful letter regarding his concerns.
He did. He read it to me, and it was just laying out everything that he had saw, just all the different details that really led to Pete being the one that was a perpetrator. And again, that just showed you how they were standing with us 100%. But unfortunately, they've signed the NDA and they've chosen the path of silence.
I can tell you right now, and Jonathan, he's not going to mind. He did not get a loan to finance the purchase of his home. He went to a bank like everyone else. So he's not beholden to them. And at the same time, nobody's helping him. But the girls, they each went to Daystar and they got big loans at probably incredible interest rates. And they've got their homes. Jonathan, I asked him personally, when I was there with them the other night, why didn't you get a loan? He goes, I didn't feel that was right. Yeah, through Daystar. Why didn't you get a mortgage through Daystar? And he felt it wasn't right. This is a man of integrity. This is a man that Marcus believed and knew and wanted to be leading Daystar in his absence. And as soon as his body is cold in the grave, the new guys come in. The mom starts putting a tracker and a tracer and yelling all up in his face if he's not reading the celebratory email.
Money can certainly be used to manipulate situations and control narratives, especially when people have influence and resources at their disposal. It's frustrating to see how easily it can be used to silence opposition or suppress dissent. But you're right, it's only a temporary fix. The truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how much is spent to keep it buried. Looking at Rebecca's situation, she wasn't just some outsider. She had personal, first-hand knowledge and real concerns. So silencing her with money and an NDA only makes things worse in the long run. People notice when actions don't match up with what's being said, and trying to cover it up only feeds suspicion. You can't buy integrity or trust, and when those are lost, it's a steep climb to regain them, especially in leadership, where credibility is everything. In Christian leadership, that's even more critical, because it's not just about managing a situation, but about setting an example of honesty, accountability, and trustworthiness. I don't think this kind of approach ever really works in the long term. It might maintain the illusion of peace for a while, but it erodes the foundation of trust. When the truth eventually comes out, and it almost always does, it can make the fallout much worse. It shifts from a personal issue to a public one, and once trust is broken on that scale, it's tough to rebuild. The question of how long it can last is anyone's guess, but the cracks always start to show, and when they do, the damage is usually more significant than if the truth had been dealt with from the start. What do you think? Do you see any way this could work out for them, or is the truth already on the path to being exposed?